The whole point is to have a cup of coffee and discuss things. And the coffee bit makes it enjoyable to discuss things. So you'd start out with your name, like I am Honey, and I use they, them pronouns.
My name's Daniel. I use he, him pronouns.
And then you talk 10 times louder because you're quiet.
My name's Daniel. I use he, him pronouns.
Normally, I'd ask you what you're drinking, but I made you your coffee. So I'll say that today we are at home on our porch drinking a vanilla bean brulee ground coffee with pumpkin spice creamer and pumpkin spice cold foam.
Wait, is it started?
Yeah.
Oh, how about that?
And then we should cheers it. I don't think people cheers coffee.
That's what keeps making me think we haven't started. Is you're like, then we should do this, and then we should do that.
I just feel like we're gonna go,
okay,
and it's gonna work. So I figured since I wanted to call it Over Coffee, we could like talk about coffee related things and then just go off from there. What is your earliest coffee related memory?
High school. I think it was the moment I started to drive, and so I was driving myself to school.
How long was the drive?
Like 15, 20 minutes or so.
Ew.
But
From my house to my high school, 6-7 minutes.
Not bad. It was the moment I started to wake up earlier to like do my own things. This was the time I would wake up before school and I'd play Destiny. I would like do the dailies.
Before school?
Yeah.
How early does that have you waking up?
6.
Ew.
Yeah.
Knowing you now, that astonishes me. Waking up early by choice is wild.
But to play video games.
What time did school start? 8?
8, yeah.
8.
So that's when I started to drive. I would stop by the Circle K, like a block from my school, and I hated coffee, but I liked theirs because I could put as much cream and sugar in it as I wanted. And so I liked having a little bit of coffee with my cream and sugar. And that was how I slowly, let's turn Stockholm Syndrome myself into liking coffee.
How old would you say you were? Like, what age is this high school student, Daniel?
17, 18.
I don't think I had gas station coffee for the first time until I was in my 20s. Because
Why?
It scared me. I thought it would taste bad, and I didn't go into gas station stores.
Whoa.
Okay, as like a small femme, a gas station store can be really terrifying.
That's fair. There's some gas stations here that I walk in and I'm
I think every town has at least one gas station that's that gas station.
There's this one that I told you I drove by when I saw it being stuck up, and I'm like, I'm just never gonna stop there.
Okay, yes, okay, that's what I'm saying. Like in Yelm, none of them were really that sketchy, but there was one from the Yelm to Olympia Drive that everyone knew you didn't stop at. And it was just like, and whether or not that was like ludicrously biased just because there was like a larger population of houseless people there. Like, I don't know if it was really founded, but I do know the one time my gas light came on that I had to stop there on my way from college to home to like do my laundry, but it was like pitch black outside. I did get yelled at by some guy. I grew up watching my parents drink coffee nonstop. I don't know if that was like a parent thing, a like of the time thing, a Washington thing, or an all of the above thing. And so it's very normalized. Mm-hmm. But I remember tasting it when I was younger and thinking it was disgusting.
Oh, of course, because it is.
So, but my parents weren't like drinking it black. Like my mom was always like cream and sugar, and that was, to my knowledge, before they had all the like really fun flavors of coffee.
Was your family a Folgers family?
Folgers? No, Folgers was like cheap and shitty. I remember
my family was a Folgers family.
Whoops.
We were a cheap and shitty family.
I remember the commercials for Folgers made it look so good. But there was a story I was told at some point in my youth that someone accidentally like got plastic army men in the brew of their coffee. Because this was like, I mean, at least in my family, no one was like looking at fancy brewing techniques. So this was like everyone just had to like pour the water in, put the grounds in, in your thing hit the on button. You know, there was
Mm-hmm.
no French press. There was no what a pour over, whatever the fuck else
Yeah,
people
you
do.
grew up in Yelm. That explains enough.
Oh, like your family was doing pour over.
I never said it did. I grew up in the mountains.
The mountain, not mountains. I grew up in mountains. I will call Mount Lemon a mountain now. Listen, that's fine. Where you grew up was a hill.
We're hill folk.
Hill.
We'd sooner we'd sooner make moonshine than do a French press.
Did anyone in your family ever make moonshine?
My grandpa, I believe.
That's cool. Was it good? Do you know?
I don't know. Yeah, I never really met him.
I only had real moonshine once. My friend in college, her boyfriend, they were from Eastern Washington, which is the like known as like the hick redneck Republican side of Washington.
Mm-hmm.
He went home for like the holidays or something one year and came back with like it was so cliche like mason jars of his family's apple pie moonshine, and it was so fucking strong. I remember being like, this would be good if my insides weren't burning.
Mm.
Anyways, my parents my parents drank coffee all the time and I thought it was disgusting. And I didn't have coffee for the first time until I was in college. And same friend with the moonshine boyfriend, she would go to Starbucks some mornings. And I was like, how can you stand this coffee? How disgusting and wretched. She was like, no, 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 no. I'll teach you the good way. It'll be really sweet. And the class that we had at this point that we were taking together was an archaeology class. And like one day a week, instead of meeting on campus at Evergreen, we would go to a different location. I think it was just a different college campus. I honestly cannot remember why, for the life of me, one day a week it was somewhere else, because I don't think that that had anything to do with the class, but my memory is horrible. But that day a week, we would get up early to go to IHOP and eat together. And then after IHOP, we'd stop at Starbucks and get coffees for the class, like to drink in the class, not for the whole class. That's absurd.
Uh-huh.
But so we'd stop there, and I'm pretty sure the order was like some kind of vanilla caramel drizzle frappuccino with like skinny, which means like the low sugar, I think, and low
Ugh,
fat
gross.
everything. And then just throwing all these flavorings in there and like getting anything we could, like extra whip, even though it was skinny, which is hilarious. And I remember the first time I got it, I finally felt like one of the cool girls because they didn't grow up.
It was such a staple. Like Starbucks was.
Yeah,
Like,
I think especially in smaller towns.
mm,
I mean,
where
maybe, I
you
don't
had
know.
one.
I'm sure it like blew up in New York. I don't know. It's huge in Seattle at
No,
the time.
I remember I felt influenced by it. Um, I was unintentionally led to believe that I liked coffee when I didn't at a young age.
Wait, how?
Well, I remember I'd go grocery shopping with my mom, and I must have been like 10, 12. And that's when Starbucks was like starting to become like a thing. That's like one of the other like fifth graders were coming into class, and like Rebecca would have her frappuccino and her whip, and I'd be like, wow, that looks so good.
Was there actually someone named Rebecca?
I don't know, surely somewhere.
A Rebecca would
At
have a
some point.
Starbucks.
Of course, exactly. And I remember I'd like go to my mom and be like, Mom, I want a Starbucks. And she'd be like, you don't like coffee? And I'm like, Mom, everyone likes Starbucks.
How fucking dare you, Mom?
And so she was like, I don't know, I'll get you something that I know you'll like.
Oh, thank
And she
God.
got me a thing, and it was amazing. It was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever had in my life. And for a while, I kept ordering. I had no idea what she got me. So I kept like, when I grew up and had my own money, I started like ordering at Starbucks, and I'd be like, none of this is what my mom got me. The
So
problem
you didn't
was,
know the name of what she got you?
No, I
I
didn't.
would have memorized that like it was the holy fucking grail.
No, I just knew it was like caramel and
You're so fancy.
whip.
Caramel.
So I didn't know what this drink was, and I kept ordering things trying to find it again, and I hated everything I got because I didn't like coffee. What I ended up getting was a vanilla bean.
What the fuck is a vanilla bean?
It's just like a
That's an order?
ice cream smoothie kind of thing.
Like when we were at the cafe the other day and a guy asked Coco if they wanted vanilla milk. It's probably just dairy with vanilla flavoring.
Probably.
I don't think Starbucks has ice cream.
No, it's probably
Like
vanilla.
milk,
It's vanilla flavoring.
like milk, vanilla syrup, probably blended.
It tastes amazing to this day. But yeah, I was tricked into thinking I liked coffee, but I just had to find the right
That
one.
makes it sound so purposeful. I feel like your mom was like, "What's something without coffee?" Did she ever tell you it had coffee in it?
No,
No,
that
tricked into it.
that bitch. I wanted a Starbucks, and she got me a Starbucks that
She
I loved.
Okay, but the thing is, like, no one needed to know what you were drinking. If you had the cup alone, it was a status symbol.
Yes, it was.
Walking into school with the Starbucks cup.
Oh God, that's what Stanleys are.
Oh my God, fuck.
Oh no, we had Stanleys too. They were just plastic Starbucks cups. No.
At least now it's water.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be anything. So I would roll up to college, my college class. Something about the Starbucks drink made me feel powerful. And that probably,
Starbucks drink is like the sound of high heels.
yes. Okay. I know it probably sounds so stupid and superficial, but as an extremely self conscious person who's like finally made a friend at college, and now that friend is like introducing me to things that I never took part in because Starbucks was also, it's a money symbol.
Yeah,
Like
it's a status symbol.
any coffee to this day you're walking around with means disposable income. And even though it's become like way more normalized, I think now, like especially the younger you were, if you, like you said, like when you were in high school, if kids came in with Starbucks, it's a status symbol in that it means your parents had disposable income to give you
Mm-hmm.
to buy a coffee and show up to class. And it also meant they were okay with you buying a coffee, which on its own was like cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it was actually coffee.
I don't
But
see. I don't see that being necessary.
so I felt so cool and accepted. And the drink was mostly bullshit. And so it tasted delicious. And I, for the first time, felt like I was part of something as it was happening instead of learning about it afterwards.
That sounds like a small town thing.
I don't even think it was so much because, like, when Yelm got its first Starbucks, it was a big deal.
Next to its first stoplight.
Listen, that town always had one stoplight. Okay, it was when it got more that it was a big deal and people talked about it. And I wish that that was a joke. I think it had to do not even with small town because there were still like the cool kids in the small town that would leave and go to the mall in the next town over and like buy Hollister clothing.
Mm.
And we never had the money for that. So there were the kids who like always had those status symbols. I think it more so like the finally feeling part of something came from like growing up so like religious. And so like music, what music I listened to was a big thing and was like controlled.
Uh-huh.
And other forms of media, whatever, etc. And so I think just being able to like make that choice myself and feel like a part of it was like very eye opening. I don't know. I'm figuring it out as I'm talking. But it felt good to be the person with the Starbucks cup strolling into class with my hot friend and feeling cool to show up knowing we had had a lovely breakfast, just us. And now we had a cool coffee that we got just us. And now we're rolling into class to sit there and half pay attention while we scroll on Tumblr and talk about what matching tattoos we should get. It was like an eye-opening time in my life. And I felt cool because I was finally drinking coffee. And that's what cool people did in Washington. They drank coffee.
Yeah, that's why I'm surprised it took you so long to like get into it.
I hated how it tasted.
And yeah,
and without going to a coffee shop, I didn't know you could make it bullshitty. I thought your option was black or cream and sugar.
I mean, for the majority of coffee's life, I feel like that is the case. I feel like that's such a recent discovery to make it so bullshitty.
So we've done first coffee memories.
What was our last coffee?
No. What was like your favorite coffee? If you had to pick just any coffee of like supreme note.
I always loved the chai latte.
It's not even a coffee.
No, it's a latte.
You get it at like a coffee shop though. Like there's not really like a tea house where you're getting a chai latte. What makes it good for you?
Well, I'd have to say just the memories and the history behind the fucking flavor. I don't know. Like,
Well,
it tastes good. Me likey.
yes, but like, do you like? There's like Starbucks has a horrible chai latte, right? Like
Oh,
it's
that's the one
really
I'm thinking
sweet
of.
and milky. Ew, really?
Yeah. Well, I got weirdly into Starbucks, and that's what I knew because I had very, very little money in college. But for the first 2 years, I had a meal plan with too many tokens. And so
Oh,
I would
for
just,
you, that astonishes me. I feel like you would just eat all the food.
no, with my ADHD meds, I ate very little.
Mm.
It was concerning. But no, I like the end of the week, each week, I would just like invite all my friends down and just buy like 6 Starbucks with my tokens.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Wait. I'm so sorry. I am going to interrupt you. Was Starbucks like a cute date spot at any
Oh,
point in your life?
it was like the only cute date spot on NEU. But it was like all the students just had like these meal tokens, and so like we couldn't afford to
Mm.
go off campus. Like the real like, okay, this is like an anniversary. You went out to like sushi.
To like a
You went out
restaurant.
to an actual restaurant.
I
But
went out to restaurants all the time when I was in college.
yeah, I went out to restaurants all the time. Like my last couple years, because I was working a lot more because I was taking less school.
Yeah.
No, the first years I wasn't working at all, so I had just zero expendable cash.
Oh, you probably had like expensive textbooks.
No, I downloaded PDFs for them all.
Oh, because like I would get the loans, and then you get like the certain amount of loan overflow money.
Yeah, I never had that.
Oh, but you get like a chunk back that they expect you to spend on books and shit. And I went to Evergreen, so there was never really that. So I would just have like a small. I mean, small. I had like a chunk of cash, and so I would just go out to eat and buy my friends food all the time.
I think at most I had like maybe I'd start a semester with like a couple like $200 or so,
Whoa,
and then I would just have that for like the semester.
that's terrifyingly low.
Yeah, I just so I like never used it, and
Fair,
I just used my meal tokens for everything.
valid.
I had a roof that was paid for, and I had food that was already paid for.
I remember in high school it was like a thing, but like specifically of the preppy kids that you'd go on a date to Starbucks.
Whoa.
Like that was like I never got asked to Starbucks.
Oh man, that explains so much.
I didn't even want to go. Shut up, whatever. But you were talking about you're taking your friends to Starbucks and your girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like a meeting spot. Oh, I remember how this started. We were talking about chai lattes. So it was that your drink of choice in college?
Yes.
Dirty or just
Nah.
normal?
Just normal chai latte. Because
Ugh.
caffeine doesn't work on me. I don't really care for it.
Yeah. But you hadn't realized that yet at the time.
I didn't realize that at the time, but I was also on like a very high dosage of ADHD meds during this time, and I was afraid that if I had caffeine, my heart would just explode.
I hate Starbucks chai lattes, and I always have, even in the beginning.
Uh huh.
And they're gross.
In the beginning.
They're not. They don't have any of the spices. They've like somehow managed to make the drink without any of the spice. Chai lattes are delicious. Starbucks chai lattes are disgusting, and I'll die on this hill.
They are delicious and lovely. I just wouldn't really call them a chai.
Yeah, yeah, it's its own thing. I like a spicy chai.
Yeah, spicy chai at this point in my life, far superior.
Wait, so of all the coffee places I've taken you to since we've gotten together, a chai latte is still your favorite drink? I mean, I know it's hard to like
Well,
rack your
part of it,
brain for all
yeah,
the drinks that we've had.
yeah, part of it is I can't even remember anything else I've ordered. We went to that place next to the Vietnamese place that one time, and they had that like cherry dark chocolate something.
Oh, Arizona Coffee Roasters,
Yeah, they had
a
a
lovely
seasonal
local
cherry thing.
independent place that people in Tucson should check out.
That was incredible.
That was really good. And then I got something that like also had cherry, but was not it. Was mine also? I don't know. You won the drink battle that day. Your drink was so good, and
Mhm.
mine was disgusting. That sounds rude. It was, I think it had chocolate flavor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
And
I
I
liked
hate, I
yours.
hate chocolate. So you liked it, but yours was still better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the explosion of Starbucks and then the shift to like third wave small coffee places is interesting because then that became a dividing factor where the disposable income to have a Starbucks was still a status symbol, but became that only for boomers, or it feels like a more like white Republican thing now. I don't know if I can like, you know what I mean? Or still like a very small town thing, right? So it's still a status symbol for those kids to go get their Starbucks and come to school with it. But then it became like a dividing point at that point between people who wanted, who genuinely enjoyed Starbucks and just still wanted Starbucks and thought that that was like the peak of coffee. And then people who cared a lot about supporting independent and cared a lot about like ethical coffee and were hipsters probably, and then wanted to have a more artisanal coffee experience. And then I felt like that really created a divide between, now we have people like me who are snobs about their coffee and want a roast that's really good, and like Starbucks burns the crap out of their espresso, and wants to know that the coffee came from a good place and wants the barista to have it like a septum piercing and a
I was
mullet.
gonna say like blue hair.
Exactly. Versus like for a long
So
time, after I realized, so like in Olympia,
so the third wave was just the introduction of hipsters and snobs.
I kind of think it came hand in hand. I have no proof.
It's a pretty it's a Venn diagram with a lot of overlap. I feel.
Exactly. Yes. Okay. And I do feel like it introduced a way to, for lack of a better word, be snobbier about your coffee, but in a superiority complex way. And I totally fed into that. I mean, once Olympia Coffee Roaster popped up in Olympia and I was introduced to that, and it was legitimately better, and that was the first time that I can remember having just like a plain latte, like a vanilla latte, without all the whip and syrups and all the like nonsense I was getting at Starbucks in order to make the coffee digestible. I guess not digestible. Drinkable?
Potable.
What does that mean?
Potable is drinkable.
Oh, it sounds like you're saying portable wrong.
You got that potable potty?
I was gonna cut it, but now it has to stay in. That's so good. But no, it was the first time I experienced a coffee drink that was just good on the merit of being done well versus on the merit of how much other stuff I can put in it
Yeah.
in order to like the way it tastes.
Mm.
And then I became that snob and I fully loved it. I thought it was so clever. I started calling Starbucks swill bucks, which I invented myself and I felt very funny about, even though it's not that funny.
I think we called it snobs bucks
You did?
or something along those lines. We called it Starbies for the longest time until I think there was like a needing to be better at than it.
Yeah, but like, did you do it out of like a lack of ability to patronize Starbucks? Or did you do it because you also thought it was bad at that point?
No, I never cared because I don't have good taste, so I don't I
Thank
don't
you.
I don't give merit to things like in that regard. I think it
Mm.
was just growing up and seeing how like all the bright-eyed freshmen would go to a
Mm.
college place, and I would see myself being distanced from them as I was hitting the later years of college, and my life became miserable, and
Oh.
the brightness of my eyes had faded and gone gray. I was like, these youths who are just like 2 years younger than me, and seeing that difference and like how, but it never stopped being like the meeting spot for a lot of like the younger.
Having been on your college campus, that makes sense too, though. Were there multiple Starbucks there when you went there, or is that
There's two,
new?
yeah. There was always two.
Okay,
I
see,
mean, always since foundation. Uh huh.
wild.
No, since I got there at least.
So the advent of like third wave coffee lined up right with when I started really exploring food and like
Mm.
giving a shit about food and realizing that like there was so much I was missing and leaving out because I was coming at it from the perspective I grew up with, which was a very set like, white people menu of like boomer food. Love you, mommy. You know, and just like my mom made great food, but it was, you know, sushi was scary. Our Mexican food was this restaurant in Yelm called Puerto Vallarta, which was good. Like I'd still eat there, but it's not Mexican
It's
food.
like Tex-Mex.
It's like white Mexican. You can't call it Tex-Mex. It's
No
in
Tex.
Washington. There's no Tex in that Mex. Either way, that the third wave coffee lined up right with when I started watching all these cooking shows, and the person I was dating was like an aspiring chef, and so it really hit me all in this perfect bubble of good genuine exploration, but then also the shitty aspect of college where once you find something that maybe not everyone has found, you think that you're better than everyone else because you've learned from college that you should be pretentious and really intellectualize everything. You know what I mean? And so it like hit me in that. And I was like, Starbucks disgusting, third wave coffee good. But even though like initially I was doing that for maybe not necessarily all the correct reasons, it is right. Like third wave coffee is so much better and you're supporting a small business 99% of the time. And you are getting like a better product with more thought behind it. And it just, I don't know, I like the experience of being able to like stand there and watch them make the coffee and like they care about it. You know, it feels good.
Yeah, anytime where you're like ordering and you're talking to like the owner of a place, like you can see passion and like drive behind this human being who's like putting work into this thing to bring you this product versus just, you know, someone who's just needs to get by and just working a random shit job
Yeah. And
that
there's
they
nothing wrong
probably
with
hate
that.
and they hate you for being there and
Yeah. No, exactly. And there's nothing wrong with working those jobs,
no.
obviously, because I still go to Starbucks and Dutch Bros when I want something that's sugary, ridiculous bullshit. Like that pecan crunch thing we had is good
Mm,
because the flavors are sweet and ridiculous and they put those crispy
those crispy
crunchities on
bits,
top.
those crispy
Like
fried
the coffee
onions.
is not quality, but all the things covering it up taste good. But it is a different experience to go and see somebody who's like passionate about what they're providing
Yeah.
and they care. Like Reno, another great local Tucson spot people should check out, has their own house made pepita syrup that they're doing right now for their seasonal pepita latte, which is like their take on the pumpkin spice of the fall. And like when I went to order it, you could tell that they care. You know, they care to tell you that that is made in house and that they did that on their own. And there's something really like special and beautiful about that. What I think is interesting is that I feel like opening a coffee shop is weirdly a more safe small business. I mean, I don't know. I've never
I was
opened
like,
one.
you have zero
I have
experience doing
nothing
this,
to back
but
this up
I'm
whatsoever.
like, please tell me your logic though.
But look at this. We live within walking distance, under 5 minutes walking distance to three separate places that serve coffee, one of which is a restaurant, so that doesn't count so much. But I do feel like people, the passion is still there for a good third wave coffee and for supporting local in a way that it maybe doesn't exist for other things. You know? I feel like it's one of the few local things that is going to bring people to it. Like if I open a bookstore and people are excited about it, but I open it in like a weird part of town, I'm not going to get the patronage I need. But people will drive to go check out a coffee spot because you can sit there and the atmosphere is part of it. I don't know. It feels like it's still a phenomenon that's happening, even though it started years ago. And I think that that's interesting.
Yeah, because I don't know, there is a different expectation when you go to a coffee shop. When you go there, like you sit down, you bring a laptop, you work on your memoir that you've been telling yourself you're going to get to. Yeah, you work on your memoir that you say you're always going to get to, and you spend time there. You like sip on your drink. I even like bookstores. I only ever see people sitting in them
In the coffee
when
shop.
they have a coffee shop in built in.
I mean, that's just a genius marketing ploy right there.
Oh yeah, no, that person deserves a raise.
Yeah, you spend more time in the
That
bookstore.
billionaire deserves that $6 million budget
God,
bonus.
no. Susan, who came up with it, got nothing from it.
Yeah, she got fired.
Signed an NDA, promptly got fired.
Yeah.
Oh God, poor Susan. But no, yeah, it is about setting the experience. And that's something that you're gonna seek out versus putting in the effort to go to, like I said, like a local small business, but it's boutique. How much time are you gonna spend there? And then in that time spent there, if you do want to go check something out, there's an obligation that you're worried about how much money you have to spend to go in, right? At least I get that way. I'm like, well, I want to check out this small candle shop, this like new boutique I heard about. But I'm going to go in thinking I'm spending at least $30. And if I don't have that $30 to spend, I don't want to go in and waste that person's time. Or like, I know part of it feels like leading them on. And the beauty of a coffee is that you can spend anywhere between $5 to $10, which arguably is at least at the very least much more accessible than anywhere else. You can spend that amount of money and you can sit for 2 hours. You can enjoy the curated atmosphere on what is comparatively a smaller amount of your income. And you get a whole experience for $6 versus walking around and then having to be the asshole that's like, okay, thanks, I'll come back soon. I'm not buying anything today, but that shirt was cute, you know? It's a low cost to pay for what it's providing you.
I was gonna say it's $6 until you see the tote bag and the shirt and the hat and.
Well, most people have self-control.
Yeah.
And that's just not me. I want to support them. That hat was embroidered locally too. Well,
Yes,
I love you.
I love you.
Did you finish your coffee?
A while ago.
Oh, mine's like halfway done because I got sweaty and I didn't want to drink more drink anymore.
That's why I finished it.
What should we do for like closing notes? What's a good like closing?
All right, guys, let's wrap it up. I've been Daniel.
I have been Daniel. What's like a good closing? I guess I could ask, did you enjoy your drink? That's
did.
like a cute tidbit.
It was really nice. Whatever we've been making lately, I really like it.
The pumpkin bullshit.
The pumpkin bullshit. I'm not usually a big fan of pumpkin bullshit in coffee form. It's pretty good, except, that brings me back to pumpkin spice lattes, which
Talk about it.
fucking suck. They're terrible. I've always hated them.
I think a good one is great, but I think the margin for error is massive.
Yes, 100%.
I will go on record as having the hottest take, and I think Starbucks originated the pumpkin spice latte, and if not originating it, they became famous for it.
Yeah.
And it's like their thing that they bring back every year. I think their take on it is disgusting.
It's one of the worst. I think they're probably the only ones I've really had. But it's just, every time I like gaslight myself into thinking that it's going to be good.
Yes,
and I've ordered
because
it
good ones
times.
exist.
And it's because everyone always talks about it. And everyone's like, it's so good. I can't.
Well,
it's coming back. It's pumpkin spice latte.
You're always
time
driving
again.
past a Starbucks.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, in Tucson, there's hardly any compared to like how prevalent they are other places, but you're going to drive past one, so it's ease of access. But their pumpkin spice is gross. I've had good ones. But the thing is like pumpkin spice on its own, literally, if we're just talking about the pumpkin pie spice, is literally just spices. It's cinnamon, nutmeg, a few other things. It's like a blend of 5 or so spices. So if you do that without actual pumpkin flavoring, you just have an overly seasoned drink. And it's gross. Presta, another local Tucson spot, which is phenomenal, does their own like pumpkin puree usually in it. So they actually have pumpkin with it. Or like Carino's Pepita syrup is a different thing. And then I just had a pumpkin spice latte from Decibel, yet another local Tucson coffee spot. They released their own take on the pumpkin spice latte. They make their pumpkin syrup in-house, and then they have a house-made chai latte flavored whipped cream on top of it. And that was good.
It was.
But at the end of the day, a pumpkin spice is not my favorite.
All right, so closing out.
Did you enjoy your drink?
I did. It was good.
You've been Daniel.
I've been Daniel.
I should think of something to do to like close these.
Now coffee's over. Instead of over coffee over.
Oh, that's kind of cute. I like it.
You could work with it.
now
workshop
the
it.
coffee time is over. That sounds sad. We'll just sing closing time.
Closing time.
Time to go inside because I'm super covered in sweat.